What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Life is Feudal Forest Village. My name is Splattercat. Very happy to have you here today as our characters recline for the winter and apparently spend all of their time breeding and mining. Yup, nothing says I want to procreate with you, girl, like 8 hours spent underground during the day hugging the devil's balls and hoping you don't hear the timbers creak. So I assume that's gotta be what it is, an affirmation of life. That's not an environment that mankind is supposed to be in. It's just not. Like, I've been down in mines. I've been down in mines, and it's deeply unpleasant down in there. I don't like mines at all. Hell no. Absolutely not. They don't have enough money you could pay me for me to be down in that mine. It's just, nope. Absolutely not. You guys are using up all my charcoal. I really wish I could put them on, like, a charcoal prohibition right now. That would be, like, my favorite. Although she's not really doing much either, so it kind of depends. Let's put people on work real fast. I'm going to see how much steel they can make so that we can make ourselves some more tools. Our clothing has obviously gotten a little bit rougher. So in order to avoid casualties, let's go ahead and put somebody on clothier duty as well. They should be able to make us some new tunics. They're getting worn out from all the friction and all the loving around here. Look at all these babies that are getting made at the moment. We have like a baby boomer explosion happening in our society right now. It's a little wild, right? A little wild. I think somebody's probably got to walk a long-ass way in order to go grab themselves some hides in order for this to work. And frankly, they got to come to work first, too. That's the other half of it, is that got to have more people at work. So maybe we put this on both chop duty and on plant duty for right now. And then as soon as the winter's over, we'll hope that things clear out a tad. It looks like we are harvesting a reasonable amount of stone right now with 3 people down in the mine. They've added a considerable quantity of stone to our collection just over this one little season. And as far as the iron goes, we've made it up to about 200 iron as well. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Come on, I need somebody not to freeze to death. We got 4 clothes that are just chilling inside the storage right now. And by chilling, I mean literally. It's a little bit cold out right now. -3 isn't too bad. But it's still cold. It's not super cold. I mean, it gets down to be that cold where I live, so not frequently. I mean, where I live, the maximum temperature is about 120 to 125 degrees. On like a really, really bad day, it'll be about 121. 125 might be an overestimate, and then in the winter it gets down to maybe like, oh, I don't know, 12, 15 degrees Fahrenheit, I guess. It's not like hideously cold, but it's still cold enough to where you should probably wear a parka and some gloves when you go outside if you're going to be out there for much longer than a couple of minutes. Or if you're not going to be doing vigorous activity. I mean, I run in that weather, so it doesn't really bother me all that much. My dad and I both, actually, will go for runs, and we'll just be wearing, like, sweatpants and, like, a wife-beater shirt or whatever when we go for a run when it's below freezing. Because once your blood gets moving, it doesn't really matter. You should be all right as long as there's no wind chill. If there's wind chill, you might be in a little bit of trouble, and that's when you get the earmuffs out and the beanie. That's usually, I've got the sweatpants, the wife-beater, then I put on a beanie and some earmuffs because my ears get cold. I got a thing with my ear canal. I don't know. Every time I get, like, my ears get cold, like, deep down inside my ear, it just starts to ache. It just hurts so much. So anyways, I'm adverse to the cold. I don't like it very much. Hopefully we'll get some surplus clothing going on right now. It's early spring, but the temperatures are still too low for us to get started with the harvest. And so I don't think I'm even going to mess with that right now. Let's take you 3 off of there so that we're not messing around with that right now. But they did actually clear out a lot of trees in a really small amount of time. I'm surprised how many trees they killed in such a short amount of time. We're going to need this temperature, which I'm assuming is in Celsius, to go up a little bit before we have a suitable growth period. So we'll leave them in the mines for a bit longer. We'll leave them in the mines. We are starting to stock up on a little bit of cast iron, which is absolutely fabtabulous. I couldn't complain less about that. It would be physically impossible because I have no complaints, unless I would have negative complaints, in which case I think a negative complaint would be a positive. It would be... A negative complaint would become a compliment, right? I think it would. I'm pretty sure. I've done the math. I've done the math, and you'll just have to trust me. So we'll put 3 in there, 2 in there. We need full farm hands on deck, all ready to go. I'll leave the other 3 just kind of chilling for right now, and we'll see what we can do with them as time goes along. And so these fields should be absolutely ready for planting now. The temperature's looking like it's going to hold. And so hopefully tomorrow we'll see them get some serious work done. We'll get ourselves a better stock of oats. We'll get ourselves some more herbs. We'll get ourselves some more veggies. I've heard that a lot of people in this game are having problems with food as they get further into the game. Once they get up to like 70 or 80 villagers, they just get eaten out of house and home and they can't keep up on it. I would prefer to avoid that. A baby's been born. Man, there's a bunch of people coming of age right now. bunch of people being born as well. We've got some very frisky villagers out here. Then again, 'tis the season. It's spring. Spring has sprung, and apparently that's not the only thing. I will leave. We can have 3 in our gatherer's hut right there, so they should bring back plenty. There shouldn't be anything to worry about there. Bread is getting eaten up pretty quickly. I was thinking about putting a second bakery over here so they could just run bread nonstop, but I don't know if that's worth it. They only use up like 300 grain per season, and so with the huge stockpile of grain that we have, I don't even know if it's worth it to be in on a strategy like that. Perfecto. Those fields are about to be done very, very soon. Glad to see it too, because I hate it when they do like half the work and they just bail out and never get it done again. It drives me nuts. Are you guys producing hides or anything else any longer? If you are not, I can move this, and it looks like they have killed the majority of the animals in this little area. He's still going out to stab stuff every now and again. But let's go ahead and lay off that. We'll move this around a tad. I'm going to say, bam, we'll get rid of you. We'll call that 2 builders. Let's find another spot that seems to be teeming with wildlife. It looks to me as though... something over here might be suitable. It might work out. That one on this side, unfortunately, we've killed all the animals, and there's not a lot left over here. I mean, I can continue to expand westward, but his walk is getting longer and longer and longer, and I would really prefer for him to be at least somewhat near resupply when I do this stuff. Although I'm not really seeing a lot of wildlife down here. I mean, that's a pretty scenic photo right there. Alright. Let's go ahead and get it rebuilt right here. We'll get a hunter's lodge placed like right here at the top of the hill. There we go. I've been thinking about playing Sunless Sea lately. I don't know what it is, but Sunless Sea is one of those games that's got me bitten down deep. It's one of those games that I always want to play. And I go through a phase. It's kind of like Mountain Blade Warband, actually. It's the exact same feeling that I get where like once a year I get like this really deep itch to where I want to play the game for like 50 hours straight. And then I do. And I mess up my sleep habits. And everything is ruined in my life. And then I just sit there amongst the desiccated remains of what was. And say, damn, what a ride. What a ride. What are they picking up off the ground right here? I'm not so certain. These guys over here are probably going to eat through their food supply pretty quickly. That's a bit of a downer, and not really something that I wanted to deal with. But it's something that's going to happen either way, so why stress yourself too much? There's the hunter's cabin right there. I may have placed that a little bit too far afield, but I think it'll do for right now. They'll drop the food off elsewhere. I mean, the main problem right now is just the transit distance. There's a barn right there, and that one is kind of the central food repository for everywhere in our kingdom. You can see how far they're walking around, and whereas in real life, up the hill and down the hill to bring some food isn't that bad, as far as the game is concerned, that might as well be them walking to Kansas, so... Wow, everybody needed new clothes this year. We went through clothes very, very quickly. Yikes, he's producing clothes, but we've only got enough left for like 6 more pairs, or 6 more suits. So if that doesn't even out rather quickly, we might have ourselves a issue on hand. That's all done. Alright, take them off that. And we will have you guys... Oh, we've still got them assigned to hunting. Good. Glad to see it. In fact, I may add 1 more on there. Not 1 more on to the hunting queue. You get what I mean, though. 1 more on the roster. Add 1 more on. I feel like that sentence was a little precarious, but you get what I meant. You get what I meant. Actually, this area was not too bad for hunting. Like, it's already bouncing back. I'll probably just put it right back where it was after we get done over there, once we kill everything off. I don't know if it has to do with, like, the density of the forest or what it has to do with, but it appears to me as though... Let's go ahead and disable that. I'm just going to have you passively cut wood for a little while. It's better than passively cutting the cheese anyways. It's a bit more productive. They're definitely going to have to spend some time walking in between locations, but on the plus side, that might allow nature a little bit of a chance to bounce back. which seems to be the main thing that they struggle against a lot of the time. For the first time in a long time, there's food being dropped off over here. I don't think that happens unless they're dropping it off over here. Oh, they're dropping it off on this side. Okay, well, that's alright. I'm not that upset by it. As long as we can keep ourselves in a tornado has been spotted near your village again. I mean, that's not really near. It's kind of far out there. Sorry about that. Back again. I think they have not resolved the crashing issues from what I've seen so far. It's still crashing. I mean, it made it like 45 minutes this time, which is better than the 10 minutes I was getting previously. But from now on, I'm just going to save on camera, so don't worry about it. It's just because the game crashes so much, and then it's been like 10 minutes since the last autosave, and so it's not a big deal. Just be aware that I'm going to be saving on camera every now and again. But I think we're in a solid position right now. I'm a little bit worried about the food situation. A lot of people online complaining about starving right now, and I do think that everything aside from the Gatherer's Hut does not put out. I think that the Gatherer's Hut is way overtuned, and everything else feels kind of undertuned. Like, I think the fishing could go up by about 20% speed, maybe 10-15%, and then it would be about balanced with... Herbalism needs to go down by about 20-25%. The yields need to be better from fields. So the fields yields need to be unequivocally the best way that you get food, because that's just accurate. I mean, this is how you got food once you had established settlements, is you had large amounts of farmland on the edges of town that just stretched forever, and then people would have food that way, and then you would have granaries, like local granaries, where they would store it all up and all that kind of stuff. And so there's no reason that foraging should be doing so much better than, you know, established farming efforts. I think that if they made it so that maybe farmers could carry a little bit more when they walk back to a storehouse, and on top of that, each of these was worth a little bit more, might make it good. I mean, there's still obviously a lot of tuning that needs to be done with this game. I think we should be fine with our housing. I'd also love to see like a menu somewhere that says how many houses you have, like what your population is versus what population space you have. I would absolutely love to see something like that added to the game as well. We've got a few extra workers. I am going to make them busy by maybe having them build some roads. It'll probably take a little bit before it gets done, but we've already got the grass harvest coming in, which is absolutely fantastic. Because I think we need hay for, like, something. I don't know why we need the hay, but it seems to be used in a lot of construction stuff. What's wrong with this guy? Has rabies. Heal with herbs collected by herbalists. Must also go to the herbalist shop. Do I have an herbalist shop? Well, there's the healer's shop right there, and holy shit does that take a lot of materials. That thing is not cheap. Good lord. I was gonna say, that better be a massive building for that cost. Good god. Then we need to flatten out the land right here if we're gonna make it work. Or flatten out the land somewhere, but either way, we need flat land, which we don't have right now. It's the continuing problem with our playthrough, is that there just never seems to be enough flat land for anything. I suppose if I could flatten out this hill right here, that'd do nicely. So this is a 14 by 20. That means we are going to need to flatten a 14 by 20 over here. It seems good-ish, but I'd prefer to get it a little bit tighter. That'll work. And it'll take a lot less effort, too. So that's almost a 14 by 20 exactly. If that doesn't work out, we'll stick something else up there. That's the moment right there for... That's what she said. That's the moment. That's the moment. It's not my fault that Michael Scott lives inside of us all, silently giving us advice as to what to say in the future. They should be able to put some effort towards that before the end of the day. I would hope anyways. That should also... Oh my god, you guys having babies like crazy. You guys have all kinds of babies. Y'all need prophylactics. Jesus. Prophylactives. Whatever. I don't know words and shiz. I don't know stuff about things. I'm just generally confused all the time. I suppose we could put in another house right there. It wouldn't be the worst plan I've ever had. Sure. And then we need more iron if we're going to build a healer's hut, which I would strongly suggest that we do. So let's go ahead and get iron stacked up for right now. That doesn't leave us a ton of workers to flatten out that land, but until we have the iron, we can't build the thing that we need anyways, so who cares? Drop you down right there. Drop all of them off, so that's now done. Our kilning, we've got 43 of the iron over there, so that should be cool. Let's go ahead and have somebody jump in on doing some more tool work. That leaves us with 2 guys who can come over here and shovel on this. It looks like it's going to take us a little bit of iron to get that done, but it only takes 4 shovels to finish it off, so that should be very, very quick. I like to think about it in terms of like civilization, where it's like you need like a certain amount of hammers to build a building. Well, in this case, we need a certain amount of shovels. We just kind of change things up. We do want to get on top of this rabies because she will infect other people, and then she will die, as far as I know. Rabies is kind of a no-joke disease, and until we came up with a vaccine for it, it was basically fatal. Like, you didn't really walk away from a case of rabies back in antiquity. Like, well, you got bit by a squirrel, now you gotta die, and we gotta run you out of town because we're worried you're a werewolf or something, so... That's that. When we bury you, we gotta nail the thing shut and then put a bunch of like bricks on your chest and other stuff so you can't get out. It is what it is. We don't make the rules, but we live by them. Do you think werewolves are a joke? Do you think they're a joke? Deep down, I don't think you think they're a joke, because if you think that they think that you're a joke, then we all think that you think that the werewolves think that we're all jokes, and now everybody's just confused. Nobody even knows what I'm talking about anymore. We're all just completely and totally confused. Yeah, these hunters over here don't seem to be doing that great of a job. It's probably just too much distance. It's okay. With the way that we're playing this, once they clear that all out, we'll be alright, and I'll put them back. I don't know, over here somewhere. We'll probably be absolutely fine. They're too far from a storehouse. That's the big problem that they're wrestling with right now. I would also maybe put another fishery over here, or maybe... Looks like terraforming is going a little faster. Maybe they upped the terraforming speed. I feel like that terraforming went way, way quicker than it used to. Like, I feel like that got resolved really, really quickly. So if we wanted a healer's lodge... It said 14 by 20. Thought I made a 14 by 20. I guess not. We'll set some houses or something up here. It'll be okay. Set some houses up there. Like, what other stuff do we have? Tavern's kind of big. Maybe not the tavern. Got a school. That might allow our children to mature faster, although that's not finished yet either. It still needs 1 more shovel. Okay, shovel away. Shovel away. Shovel like your life depends on it, because it more than likely does. Because people have rabies, and now they're infecting everybody else with rabies. It's a mad world we live in now. It's a mad world. Ding, 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 ding. That's like the most depressing song on earth. That's like the song that angsty, like, 16-year-olds listen to when they have to mow the lawn too many times in a week. My upper middle class life is so restrictive. All I want to be free of is these expectations. I just want to be me. It's okay, kids. You'll get over it. It's fine. Don't worry. Don't be angsty. That's the big thing. I did the angsty route. I'm not talking shit right now. I was that kid. I was that kid. I was angsty all the time. Don't waste your time with it. It's a waste. It's like enjoy what life has to offer. Go through, participate in activities, be a member of the community and whatnot. It helps. Makes life more enjoyable. Think of that much. When you're sitting around your ass doing nothing all day watching TV, it's easy to be depressed. Very, very easy situation to be down in. So have you guys finished this off yet? I have my doubts that I'm going to be able to build anything on top of this, but I'm still going to try. Yeah, so what it meant is that we needed to make that like a 16 by 22. Because the exact specifications of the building won't work. Okay, that's fine. It's wasted space, but at the same time, it's like, ah, well, we'll do something with it. What's up with that road? Why does it look so janky? I mean, we could place a school over here. That will more than likely help educate the children, I think, and make them grow up faster. We can also go in on a carpenter's shop, which is used for making jank-style tools. In case you ever wondered where we get the primitive tools from, that would be the location, just in case you find yourself caught without any option. Might be a decent plan, and the resource materials are not that bad, so yeah, we'll do a carpenter's shop. And then on top of the carpenter's shop, we will do nothing because it used up all of our space. Wow, we can't even build like the small domicile there. Okay, fine. I didn't want to build a small domicile anyways. That thing is so legit. I want to build that house like right now, but it kind of reminds me, it makes me think that maybe I'm building like a medieval slum in my city. Like, doesn't it feel like that's kind of like the hood? Well, that's what it feels like to me. As far as the clay mines go, where is good clay at? There's good clay right there. Oh, it tells you how much clay. Was that there before? Cool. Is the clay situated mostly like on top of tall mountains or whatever? Ooh, there's 4,000 clay over here somewhere. I saws it. I saws it. You can't hide it from me. It might be worth it just to drop the clay. Right over next to this mine. I mean, there's plenty of clay over here, so seems worth it to me. We are going to need some more firewood. Hopefully that's being chopped over on this side. But firewood's looking a little iffy for right now, so we might need to get on top of that. We don't have any extra people, so I'm going to take somebody off building duty. And let's just get 2 people working on this so that we're actually producing at a better rate. Should just be 1 person sick right now, I think. Once this is all nice and done, they should be able to line up. Well, maybe. Ooh, fall's here already. Well, that's not good. That's definitely not acceptable. I do think it slows down from time to time. Like, it doesn't look like they fish quite as fast sometimes. Although maybe there's only 1 person there. I also think the system might function a little better if you had people that were designated haulers. That's the other part of the whole thing, is that I think they should add a job type called a hauler, and their job is just to stock things and move things around. So, for example, instead of having the fishermen run these back, you would just have people who are designated haulers. I think that would probably work a bit more efficiently for what I'm trying to do here. We have 17 outfits. That's not nearly enough. However, we're not pulling in enough hides either. I mean, they are hunting and killing things over here. It's just taking them too long to get back to town. Yeah, I made a mistake. This is too far-fetched. Let's go ahead and we'll eliminate that as a location for right now. And then we'll take people off of hunting duty because there is no hunting to be done. Put you on builder duty for a little bit so that all of our constructions get finished off before we go any further. So this is the wood shop over here. Okay. Doesn't seem like it's going to be really, really ridiculously useful anytime soon. But yeah, now we got 2 people with rabies. That could actually run away on us really, really quickly. So I'd like to get on top of it now. It looks like all of our crops have officially died, so let's pull all of them off of farming duty. We will put them in the stone mines and the quarry, so that they can restock us right there, because we are going to need a little bit of extra before we're going to be able to get anything done. Firewood is dropping at a very, very high rate. So I would say to add another person to the chopping duty. Just in case, if we upgrade it, we can have a 4th person on chopping duty. But actually, our breeding is happening so fast right now that it's hard to keep up with it. We will have to finish out. We'll have to figure out some kind of food supply. Otherwise, this is not going to be a real option as time goes along. Take you off duty right there. That leaves us with 6 ready to go. I would recommend, actually, I'm just going to leave you guys off duty right now. Feel free to chop down trees and stock our supplies, but that's it for today. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here for the next episode of Life is Feudal Forest Village. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye, everybody.